everybody. Give me half a second to verify the sound. And honestly, I didn't have a better intro because this was just off the cuff. All right, sound is sounding good. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Don't get in the habit of thinking I'm going to be doing all these live streams, but man, it's I just wanted to have some real talk with y'all, and this is meant for a couple of ministries as well as just maybe you want to, I don't know, mainly this is just to talk about media ministry frustration, and just kind of maybe hopefully this will help y'all individually so that you know that you're not alone in the situations that's going on, and also maybe this will give some help to those people who may not understand what's going on in media ministry and think it's a turnkey solution type of thing. I think I popped this up here just to let you know, folks, make sure that if you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. That way you don't miss out when we come out with other videos. And especially if this resonates with y'all, let me know. I might do some more of these as well, because this is me just cutting through all the fluff and just really addressing some issues and me being transparent on what's going on in media ministry. I don't really hide nothing from y'all, and I like to tell y'all that stuff don't always work. It's not always the best type of situation, and a lot of stuff happened today. What else can we talk about? Oh, I'm not going to be here that long. We actually have a roundtable that's coming up as well today. Make sure that if you want to be a part of that, it's almost like an extended version of what we're going to be talking about in this video. Make sure you hit up on Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, and join that. It's only 3 questions to join. You'll automatically come in after that. Make sure you don't live stream inside the group, except for today we asked to share some stuff. But yeah, information to join the roundtable is going to be in there. We're going to do a roundtable at 7 p.m. Eastern. We normally go for 2 hours, maybe even longer, depending on what's being talked about. So in other words, enough of me rambling on. Hello, T-Pocket. Hello, Robert. Hello, Damien. Rummage for Riches. Hello, Robert. Hello, Isaac. Hello, Brian. Hello. Shane and Hannah, hello. Chase and Brown, hello. Mike, hello. Christopher, hello. Mousy, hello. Mousy, I sent you an email as well. All right, so let me just cut over, and can I do this? Because I have a green screen on right now, and I really did not prepare as much as I normally would. Oh, well, we have to get back to it. Like I said, I did not prepare for this. So most of y'all may have seen that I did some videos about doing the Raspberry Pi, and I was at Spring Creek today. I planned to have a video showing the behind the scenes, but everything fell apart. We had tested it multiple times throughout the week. It worked. It worked Sunday morning, and then when we got to church, the stream was working from the baptism to the sanctuary. Then all of a sudden, a Windows update came out. Our ATEM did not show up on ProPresenter, so we couldn't show anything inside the sanctuary. Then I walked over to the baptismal area just to make sure everything was working, came back, and then the live stream didn't pick up, the USB wouldn't pick up the ATEM. So the stream stopped working. And it was crazy. Like, everything that possibly could have happened. And I say this to leaders who are not involved with media ministry. Please lay off, the nicest way I can say this, please lay off and give some slack to your media ministry. There are so many moving parts in the media ministry that just, it's always something going on. As much as y'all don't know, your media, if you don't know about what's going on and it looks just like everything is a well-oiled machine, you would be surprised how much your media ministry is just going all in and trying to get stuff working. And I want to bring up the chat at the same time, but like I said, I can bring up y'all stuff as well too. But let me know in the chat, if y'all are in media ministry, did you have any issues with your service, whether you had yesterday or today? Let me know. I'll bring y'all up here as well too. But that's one thing that happened for us. Just the live stream just bombed out and it did not work. We ended up having to stop the live stream, record service, and I kid you not, when everyone left the church, we restarted both of the machines, the live streaming system, the Pro Presenter system, unplugged and plugged in the ATEM Mini Extreme maybe 4 times. Did not change anything except for just restarted the system. And literally it was me, Makita, and one of the other ministers. Those are the only people that were there. Everything came up working perfectly. Like all of us, like, literally wanted to take the computer and just chuck it across the room. And it was, there was no explanation for it. And what makes it more frustrating is people who are not involved with the media ministry are like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? I can't tell you why it's not working. Because, I mean, we could have everything was working perfectly fine. No one, to our knowledge, came in between the service, the building, between Wednesday and Sunday, where everything was working perfectly fine, and it just bombed out. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and bring up these automatically, and then the chat should pop up. Yeah, and see, thank you, Vaughn. I mean, it was just one of those things that we just didn't know. And it's going to bring up the chats automatically. So as long as people aren't saying nothing stupid or something crazy, the chat's going to pop up. Started dropping frames as soon as I play a video. Yeah, let me know in the chat. Again, is this something that we want people to know that media ministry is, we can get all the tech all day long. Media ministry, and this is what my videos really talk about, is really about how can you think on your feet. There is not if something is going to happen in media ministry, it's when something is going to happen, because you have your computers that might need to be an update. Somebody jiggled a cable loose that is behind the desk that you just didn't know. Somebody sweeping, cleaning up, and you never know, something came loose. It could be your ISP is having a problem. It could be that there's a storm. There could be somebody that a car hit a pole and your internet is out. I mean, it could almost be anything. I mean, we have smart TVs. It could be your smart TV needs to get an update, and it just decides to do an update. Yeah, just like you were saying, Rummage for Rich, it's funny how things can work perfectly the night before and then boom, the next morning, nothing. Happened a few times to us, but lately things have been working. I mean, it just happens, folks. So ministers, leaders, if you are here, please extend some grace to y'all's media ministry volunteers or staff. It's just, stuff just happens. Keith Harris, we tested Friday and Saturday morning, everything a go. Service starts, the audio is shot, only 2 mics working, audio on Zoom was the worst. Still don't know what the problem was. I mean, this is how it is. It's all about thinking on your feet. Hey, AJ, thanks for your videos. I've learned a lot. You're welcome, Paul. I'm glad to be of help. And I hope this does the same thing as well. I want y'all to know, even with all the stuff that I do, I have issues as well too that I have to deal with. Stuff that I'm sitting here running around trying to hook up cables, trying to just figure out other ways to work around it. And it's about being cool and calm under pressure. We also have projector stop working midway throughout praise and worship. Something is always happening, folks. And I use the title, to be honest, talk about media ministry frustration, but one of my things that I try and talk about is how I define frustration is trying to change something that you are not meant to control. If I could control the ISP, like I was helping also remote it in and helping my home church, the NDI for whatever reason, disappeared and was not even an option in OBS to pull over our countdown timer that I did a video on how to have a countdown timer show up in OBS from ProPresenter. That just, for whatever reason, just was gone. And then I was helping Pastor Alicia, their live stream. It looked like it was flaking out, and I've been working with them a couple of Sundays, and we're just trying to isolate the issue that it's like, for whatever reason, when we try and live stream anytime during the week, it works perfectly fine. But then when it comes to Sunday, it just bombs out. And I'm trying to sit back and assess, thinking, you know, Comcast is trying to say, oh, it's your router. It's that Dream Machine Pro, that Unify stuff that's causing the issue. I don't think it's true, but, you know, trying to assess that. And then, you know, most people's knee-jerk reaction is, hey, let's shut this off. And it's like, no, you know, you got to be patient. Again, like I said, we are not so serious. Your live stream is not so serious that the world is going to end if you don't put out a decent, perfect, hiccup-free live stream. This is how you learn. You know, as much as people don't like to fail, you learn in failure. When you have a mess up, you have a mix up, that's what happens. Let me turn off the automatic and let's go look at some of the comments of folks here. And let's see what's going on. We got some more people. Mr. Clarence, hello. Like, let's jump over here to Mike. And he was saying, I feel your pain. Today went well for us, but last week was not good. You never know. Ethan here saying, today all the audio software and board was glitching because it needed to be updated all at the same time. You know, we can't control that. And again, don't blame Microsoft. I've had the same thing with my Mac as well too. Mike, darn you, Microsoft, holding your fist up in the air. They always push things out at the wrong time. That's what happened to us last week. You know, that happened. Christopher was saying the same thing. Yeah, that's very frustrating. You know, Mousy was saying, today our service was good. Last week was when I had issues when my camera went out during praise and worship. You know, Jinx, I know she's had issues as well too, but thanks be to God, no issues, which is awesome. Yeah, and Mike, in computers as well too. Problem is, it's a rolling update, so it doesn't always affect people at the same time. Now, we're talking about Microsoft, but a couple of weeks ago, Facebook made the change where they changed their RTMP, that persistent key. They made a change to that to where it used to be a bunch of random letters. You look at your Facebook streaming key now, it's FB in a bunch of letters. That messed up a couple of people a few weeks ago. Brian, yep, background audio hum and PTZ cameras losing focus randomly. And then, yeah, we talked about this as well too. Coach here was saying, yeah, Windows update held up them this morning too. Again, these are people from all over the world. All of them do not go to my home church. I don't go to their home church. I want this to be an example and hopefully a reference to leaders. Again, be patient with folks. I wish it was just a one-button press, but it's not. And things happen. Don here in Nebraska, hey everyone, we had a good day streaming. You know, awesome. Ashley was saying that they had tons of issues today and that Zoom was not their friend today. And SDT live stream sums it up perfectly. The most frustrating is when other members want to shut down the media ministry. That's not a solution. You work through failure. You know, you just don't, just because you fail and it doesn't work perfectly, shutting it down robs you of the opportunity of learning. Again, it's not the funnest things. You ever think about it? Every television network on the face of the planet has a "we are experiencing technical difficulties." There's a reason why they have that, because nothing is perfect. And contrary to popular belief, there's very few shows that are live. They have been recorded and all of the fluff have been removed. You got to think, and I didn't put my phone on mute. You got to think. That's why all these things that you look at in your movies, look at the Avengers, look at the Marvel movies. Don't they have a bloopers reel? The bloopers are when something has gone off. Everything has it. Nothing is 100% perfect. I just want everybody to be comfortable with that, and don't don't abandon ship just because you're having an issue. Carl here is saying, I played whack-a-mole with problems today. Lighting issues. We had lighting issues at Spring Creek as well too. OBS crashed. ProPresenter crashed twice. Exactly. Carter here saying we moved back to outside worship and audio was inconsistent. Robert was saying issues stream to live stream, no internet, not internet related. And I remember going with what Mike is saying right here. I remember Joel Osteen said this statement that you need, and this is just in life as well too. He was saying that you need to have an "I don't understand" cabinet, to where you are comfortable with putting things that happen in your life in the "I don't understand" and "I'll never understand" cabinet, and be content with that you're never going to understand them or get an answer to them. You have to be comfortable with that. There's sometimes, as much as I'm a problem solver, I love trying fixing and solving issues. There are some things you just cannot fix, and you have to be content with that. Sometimes when you've tried all that you know, what they say, it was like, when you've done all that you know to do, just stand. If you've tried every possible thing to solve an issue, some issues you just can't get your live stream back that day. There's sometimes you just can't live stream. Sometimes you got to record. When you record, sometimes you just can't record, and you just got to take a L that day. You have to be content with that. And thank you. Rummage for Riches kind of say the same thing. Our home church in Washington State couldn't even live stream today. It just happens. Exactly. Don't beat media ministry staff. Don't beat yourself up if you can't get it working. Learn from it and then go the next time. And also, leaders, anybody else, what's the nicest way I can say it? Well, I'm not a part of y'all church, so I can, ministry. I can say this: we're all many members in the body of Christ. So we are a part of the church. The church is the body. So that's why you hear me. I correct myself when I say church. I say ministry. We have multiple ministries, but it's one church. But anyway, the nicest way I can say this, I understand the pastor being the head of the ministry. Pastors, if you don't know how the stuff works in the media ministry, by you sending the request to shut it down, that's not always the best decision. Allow your people to learn from the mistake. Jaquil, this is another issue we had today as well too. Our computer wasn't recognizing our mixer or our camera. That's what was going on with Spring Creek. For whatever reason, ProPresenter couldn't recognize the ATEM. It just wouldn't. Going into different jacks, it didn't recognize anything. Then OBS just wouldn't detect it for whatever reason. And then when service was over, "Oh, I see you now." What in the world? Exactly. Shutting down stuff until, I'll put it this way, not doing anything until you are perfect is a failed solution. No one is perfect. striving for perfection is the method, not being perfect. You'll never be perfect, but striving for perfection is the solution, because you're always pushing yourself to try and be better. But just shutting down, not doing anything, again, robs you from the ability to try and do anything. Again, it's like I always say, it's easier to steer a moving car than a parked one. If you're moving, and you might be flailing and failing, but if you're moving, I can at least help steer you in a direction. If you're just sitting still, like, I'm not going to do anything until it works perfectly. I'm not going to live stream until I live stream. Our upload speed is exactly 35 megabits consistently without any single dips, unless no one in our church is live streaming on their phone. They're not on the Wi-Fi hindering our upload speed. Unless my cable is perfect and I have no magnetic interference in any of our cables, I'm not going to do anything. You realize if you did that, nothing would ever happen. We have to move. And then Christoph is saying, that's the reason why we only use hardware streaming, no OBS anywhere. Is there any issue you can switch one-to-one load settings and set streaming key? PC are often unstable. That's one solution. There's a reason why people have certain standards in their ministry. It's all about being flexible. Kenneth saying, leadership will have to learn to support their media ministries. Virtual is the new normal. Exactly. And in supporting them, it means not micromanaging them. But I say that to say, media ministries, it is your responsibility to be skillful in your skills. Not just coming in 5 minutes before service and pressing to go live. You need to be studying this stuff. Like right now, by me live streaming right now, I am practicing live streaming, because y'all have seen behind the scenes with what I do. Some stuff does not work. I have redundancies. Like right now, I'm streaming through vMix. If vMix fails, I can go directly to OBS that's on the same system. If this system goes down, I have another system behind here that I can fall over to. If that doesn't work, I can cut. I've done streams before where my internet has gone out and I've hooked my phone up to Tether. You have to be skillful in what you're doing. I can play the piano. If the piano goes out, I can play the keyboard. If the keyboard goes out, I can play the organ. If the organ goes out, we can go a cappella. We work to be skillful in what we're doing. In the same way, if your hardware encoder goes out, go to software. If the software goes out, if the internet goes out, you need to have failovers and be skillful at that. But at the same way, just like, you had the folks lifting up Moses' arms. Moses did not come off the mountain to fight. When he did, they lost. Moses' role was to stand up with his arms up. And you had people holding him up, but you had Jacob and other people that, and I'm sorry if I misquote the person there, people were on the field of battle doing their role. And leaders, it is your responsibility at the given time to lead, to preach. The word of God is not meant for you to come out of the pulpit, go into the back, and start pressing buttons and doing other stuff unless you are also a part of the media ministry. Let the people do what they're doing. Let's go over to Mike Jones here. The problem I have is when people outside that don't understand the process and will not give you the tools you need to be successful. I had to learn to just keep pushing and hope they see. Exactly. Leadership and people who are not associated with the media ministry, you make stuff so much more difficult. Again, I would hope nobody in your media ministry staff, let me know in the chat. Do any of y'all run up to your pastor and say, no, this is how you should preach? No, this is how you need to engage the audience. Do you do that? That's the same way when people are trying that's why we have the shirt. And before you complain, about what the media ministry is doing or how they're doing it, have you volunteered? Because if you haven't volunteered, there's an old statement that said opinions are just like butt cracks. Everybody got one. That's the clean way of saying that. Exactly. Not doing anything before it's perfect, you end up doing nothing. Exactly. You have to move. It's not going to be perfect. Just like when all of us were learning to walk as babies, we failed. We failed forward to success. That's what it is. The frustrating part is when you have other people who mean well saying, no, we want to make it perfect. We don't want you to fail. We don't want you to fall. No, you're robbing people of learning that way. Mr. Clarence here is saying, I leave my church computers running 24 hours a day to reduce the chance of affecting the office staff. Going forward, I plan to put my streaming on a separate VLAN, trying to avoid casual user overload. Exactly. That's what I did with our computers at my home church. Ashley, amen on the moving car comment. On point. If we had listened to one, we would not have even started ministry until September. Exactly. You have to move forward, step boldly. Yes, it's going to be rough. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Are you going to fail? Yeah, I sounded like Les Brown because he said the same thing. Is it going to hurt? Yes. Are you going to fail? Yes. Are you going to get disappointed sometimes? Yes. but that's how you learn. You keep going. SDT live stream, when it happens to us, I just think it happens for a reason. So far, God has worked in mysterious ways. Everything happens for a reason. You learn. Back to Brian Jones. Shutting it down without understanding is, to pulling over on the shoulder when you come across an accident on the highway that's outside your control. Exactly. Like the Mousy Hell. We did have some feedback on our mics this morning. We had a trainee in the sound booth alone because the other people on my ministry did not come to church. Our drummer is on the ministry, but he can't stop playing to fix issues in the booth. I don't usually work the booth and haven't been trained on it yet. All right, understood. Back to Kenneth. Good stuff today from my AJ Holmes. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, I want to be real with y'all. Again, I mean, I do talk about a lot of stuff and tips and strategies, reviews and bills to help modernize your media ministry. I talk about that, but real talk, it's hard. It's hard. It doesn't work all the time. I hope to teach you, to encourage y'all that you individually have the ability to get this stuff working. I want to empower you, not empower your computer, and show you that you are more than capable than all the tech around you. If you can do it with a phone, you can do it with a computer. If you can do it with a computer, you can do it with a camera. You can do it with your phone. You can do it. I mean, you have the ability. I want to encourage you that you are more than capable to do what you have. Like I used to tell my friends, hey, if you don't believe in yourself, guess what? I believe in you. Believe in me to know that I believe in you. If you can't believe in yourself, believe that I know I'm not going to lie to you. So I know that you're capable. So, but again, no matter what the situation is, it will work out. Just don't drop the ball and just give up. You rob yourself from the opportunity of learning. Let's go here. Leadership with lack of tech knowledge also need to stop fussing at media ministry. Exactly. When you fuss, you are chasing away your solution. If you got people who are willing, who are not trained, did not go to school for this stuff, investing time during the week, watching my videos, watching anybody else's videos to learn more, and you come down on them, that is a guaranteed way for you to have less people in your media ministry. You know, encourage, give them up. I mean, look, just even when I was a minister of music and teaching, what I used to, if it was something hard, let me be real transparent with y'all. and I was getting ready to teach something that was the hardest thing ever, I used to lie to my choir members. This song is going to be easy. Oh, it's going to be, a problem. It's going to be a problem. Even though I know it's the toughest thing. Why? Because if I tell everybody from the very beginning, this is going to be the hardest thing possible, very few people have the mindset when a difficult situation comes up, it girds them up. They gird themselves up because it's like, hey, this ain't going to get the best of me. The majority of people don't do that. So the reason I tell them is I lower their defenses so that I can teach them. It's a lot easier for somebody to come into a situation thinking it's going to be easy, and by the end, they're like, man, that wasn't as easy as AJ said it was. But guess what? We're already through it. Compared to from the beginning, they think it's hard and they're fighting it the entire time. I could be wrong, but over almost 30 years of teaching music, that has worked for me. Let me see some of the chats y'all are saying. T. Marshall, amen. The motivation I need to keep pushing. Hey, that's what we all got to do. And I said this to somebody else. It's like, and again, maybe I'm being too transparent when I say this, and I'm just being real with y'all. I pour out as much as I possibly can to help y'all out, because I didn't have a lot of people pouring into me when I was doing this stuff. I want to pour into y'all. But, I mean, in real talk, it gets draining sometimes, because I try and pour out into y'all, and sometimes I don't have anybody that's pouring into me. This is not a sob story. I'm not complaining. I'm just being real with y'all. So sometimes that's why I take some vacations. That's why I cut out. Sometimes when y'all send me emails or call me or text me, if y'all have my number, I don't respond, because sometimes it's rough for me as well too. Like even today, I was at Spring Creek, and some people who meant well helped out, but that helping made stuff worse, and I'm like, and I think I was sitting down, some people like, AJ, are you okay? I'm like, just give me a second, please. I need to go back to my happy place for a second, because I'm about ready to bless some people out right now. That's the way I'm feeling, and I'm just being real. It's like, it does get frustrating sometimes, but I had to remind myself, when you have given your best, that's all you can do is give your best. If somebody tells you that your best isn't enough, it does not matter. Because if you know in your heart of hearts that you've given your best, that's all it is. There is no heaven and hell no one else can put you in. If somebody else thinks, AJ, you could have done more than that, and I know that I gave my best, I really don't care. I really don't care what nobody else said, because I gave my best. And if you don't think, people will always move the goalpost, and they will always undercut your 100% effort, but then they will overestimate what you can do. All you're competing against is yourself. Did you do your best? If you could have done more. No one else can tell you that. No one can tell you that. One of the things about me, and there, jokingly, there are 3 things that I would say in relationships that I'm in, that normally I'm a cool hand loop person. One thing, never make me bleed. Never do anything to make me actually bleed. Never accuse me of lying, because I have no reason to lie to you. And then the third one, never ever tell me what I can't do, because I will bend over backwards and go through hell to tell you, to prove you wrong. Never, ever, 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 ever tell me what I can't do. If you want to irk me and get me into Marine Corps mode, tell me something I can't do. And I don't know, I'm going off into it. Let me jump back over here to the stream. Back to Mousy here. Yes, keep pushing through and working through the issues helps you improve. Exactly. Devin, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I like the ubiquity stuff. Makes it kind of easier for people who don't understand VLANs. We do that as well too. Justin here. After church services, I meet with my media and we discuss the problems they encountered and what we can do to correct it, even if it means calling an outside tech like you. Hey, that's what you need. You need a debrief. Just like any sports team, they look at the tapes. Go back and look at your live stream. What's the good, the bad, the ugly of it? Like I go to some people and it's like, look, you know what? Your video quality was great today, but the audio sounded like trash. Guess what? We know where to aim for. Hey, the video was good. We don't need to touch that right now. Let's focus on this. That's how you learn. Aaron, yeah. Had Pastor do a live with the Boxcast app, and it was in portrait, and it is programmed to be in 16:9. Pastor realized after and said to the person blaming him and telling you did it. I mean, blame don't help nothing. In all honesty, blame doesn't help anything. Back to Vaughn. Years ago with my old Canon Vixia camcorder, started streaming for the sole purpose for sick people at home. There was pushback, but my bishop allowed it. When the pandemic happened, they were thankful. Yeah, most people don't understand. When you're a trendsetter, when you're on the tip of the sword, the hilt doesn't know what the tip of the sword is getting into, and that's where we're at. Back to Kenneth, yeah, that's the burden of true leadership, and just like you said, keep pushing. Let me see. I got some people sending me some text messages here. Again, thank y'all so much. I mean, I really hope y'all just don't get tips and strategies and stuff like that from me. I want to be transparent with y'all that my media ministry is not perfect. It's not. No one's is. It's about how much we're striving for perfection, And I really appreciate all the encouragement, folks. I really do. And again, I'm just being real. Back to Devin. As a guy teaching music, coaches, executive, and companies, different approach that I've had a lot of success with, instead of telling them it's going to be easy, is to tell them how to make it fun. Exactly. That's another approach as well, too. And to Mike, that's what I have to learn how to do better, not to let the pressure cause wrong reactions. Exactly. All we can control is our attitude and our actions. No one can upset you unless you give them permission to upset you. That's what I had to realize. No one can make me think anything other than what I choose to. So if somebody wants to down me, that's fine. I don't let them override how I feel about myself. That's a constant process as well. Devin, thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate it. Mac Chamberlain, I'm kind of new at this stuff, but I'm constantly researching and learning, but the people I work with don't know anything, so I give them a single task until they master it and then progress from there. That's all you can do. I mean, there's a filter. There's a reason why there's an 80-20 rule. 20% of the people do 80% of the work, 80% of the people do 20% of the work. That's not a good or bad. That's just the way it is. You are in the 20 in some aspects of your life. In other aspects, you're in the 80. That's not something to get mad at. That's just what people elect themselves to go to that next level. It's like we can't, you don't push a wet noodle, you pull one. How do you pull it? You lead by example. I'm not telling y'all to do anything that I don't do myself, because that's what I used to get in trouble when I was in the Marines. I was Lance Corporal, and it was like that's me learning to be a corporal to lead other Marines. And I used to have my staff sergeant. He was like, Holmes, you're supposed to tell them to do it. And I said, I understand that, sir, but the way I feel is I think a good leader should be able to show that whatever I'm telling them to do, I'm willing to do as well too. You know, that's just me. That's the same process I think about. Back to Aaron. AJ, I give it my all. I love media ministry and I'm learning a lot. Hey, well, I appreciate it. Well, thank you. Carl, very good point. When one is striving for perfection, anything less than perfection feels like failure, but that is the part of striving. Exactly. You're never going to reach perfection. It's the striving, just out being better than you were yesterday. That's what it's all about. This has been right on time. I can vent my frustrations with people who understand exactly. This is exactly the reason why we did the round table every 2 weeks on our Facebook group, because it's you're talking and venting with other people who know exactly what you're going through, can give you other suggestions. What they say, you're either getting ready to go into a storm, you're in a storm, or you just came out of one. That's exactly the point of why we did the round table, so that you're not just talking to people who don't know the frustrations or the stuff that you're constantly doing outside of service to learn. That's the reason why. So again, I highly, highly encourage y'all, if you haven't, join the Facebook group, because we're having a roundtable here in about 3 hours, a little under 3 hours. So we're not going to be going this much longer, because I need to get myself ready for that as well too. Yeah, so I really hope this helps. You know, I'm just being real with y'all, that it's like, you know, this is something that we all deal with. And people who are not associated with the media ministry, let me put it as layman's terms. If you're in the congregation and you are not a part of the media ministry, before you complain, contact somebody in your media ministry and just ask if you can just sit in the media booth, so you can get a front row seat of what it takes to run the media ministry. That's why I love the behind the scenes, and that's why we're trying to do more behind the scenes. So to some people it may be boring, but to others you can see what it takes to actually do that. You know, just like we can learn a lot if you go behind the scenes with your pastor to see what they need to do to prepare, or you need to go behind the scenes with the security ministry to know what happens behind them, what they say. You know, walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, and maybe you'll get a better understanding of what it takes for them to do what they're doing. You know, we're going to jump over here, and then we're going to be shutting it down pretty soon. Look, that's humbling. I appreciate it. I use your videos for homework to help me teach others. Honestly, that's what they're for. I did my YouTube stuff to help out my media ministry and anybody's media ministry, so I'm glad it's helping. Mr. Clarence, great quote here. And whoever strives after perfection is striving after God. Yeah, so, you know, I hope this helps. If you have any of those days being frustrated, you know, I'll try and do some more of these as well. T. Marshall, the name of the group is just Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. Just look that up, or if you just do Modern Media Ministry, it should come up. You'll get 3 questions. Do you want to, are you a part of a media ministry? Are you live streaming? Do you agree to the rules? And the main rule is don't live stream inside the group. You would get kicked out instantly for that. We got about 5 moderators, and they've been instructed, even if you join for 5 minutes and then you started live streaming in the group, you're going to get gone up out of there. Thank y'all as well. For those who are going to be in the round table, I will see y'all in about 2.5 hours. Again, folks, thank you for what you're doing in media ministry. I know that we're not always thanked for the stuff that we're doing. No one knows what we're doing behind the scenes, what the studying we're doing. Sometimes we're spending our own money, putting into our media ministry to make it reach more impactful, because that's what it's about. It's not about your live stream. Ministers, pastors, even media ministry people, congregation, your live streaming ain't for you to sit at home and be comfortable. The live stream is for everybody else. Tesla's website, all the websites for any companies, their website is not for the people who already have their product. It is for those who don't know nothing about it. Your live stream is for those people who know nothing about Jesus Christ and ministry. That's who it's for. So thank you, media ministry folks, who are constantly pushing and helping to improve so that that message can go out to somebody else who's never heard the message of Jesus Christ. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. All the studying, all the improving is not to make it nice and neater for you to stay at home this given Sunday. That's a side benefit. The benefit is to reach those who've never heard the message. That's what it's about. So thank you for your dedication. Thank you for the work. I appreciate what you're doing. I'm not even a part of your ministry, but you are in the same calling that I'm doing. So I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. We will be catching up and seeing y'all in the round table if you're there. If not, we'll see y'all in the next video. And if you don't mind, folks, I appreciate if you hit that like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification and share this video, folks. Hopefully other people, if you have heard of anybody in other media ministries that might be frustrated or something like that, share this with them. Share this with any other ministers and pastors so that they can hear. I mean, again, I don't know your pastor, so I mean, I can shoot you straight. If they don't subscribe to me, hey, you know, I just want to help out, you know, as best as I possibly can. So we'll see y'all later, folks. Y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you is on the face of this planet. I appreciate you, and we'll be talking y'all and seeing you in the next video. Later, folks.